What's going on, everybody? American Football Network here with another video today. And today we're bringing you guys our Georgia-Texas preview prediction video. But before we get started, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Comment those thoughts and opinions down below. Help me reach that goal of 9,000 subscribers by the end of October. We're just a little over 100 away from that, so let's get going. Check out the description for links to our shop, podcast, website, Patreon page, and our college football roundup. Also, at the top of the description, you'll find a link for Parlay Play. Click that link to receive a 100% deposit match and $5 of free play when you sign up. It's as simple as picking more or less on your favorite player's stats for the game. So go check that out. Get going on that. So let's go ahead and jump into today's video. Georgia traveling to Texas to take on the Longhorns. Texas is favored by 3.5 in this game. The over-under is set at 56.5. This will be the 7:30 game on ABC. Georgia comes into this game 5-1 on the year, 3-1 in the SEC. Started out week one, beat Clemson 34-3, beat Tennessee Tech 48-3, lost at Kentucky 13-12, then lost at Bama 41-34, beat Auburn 31-13, and beat Mississippi State 41-31. And look for Texas. They come in 6-0 overall, 2-0 in the SEC, beat Colorado State week one 52-0. Went on the road to Michigan, won that one 31-12, beat UTSA 56-7. Beat Louisiana Monroe 51-3, beat Mississippi State 35-13, and beat Oklahoma 34-3. So for Georgia, they've already been tested against Alabama. For Texas, they haven't really been tested yet. At Michigan, I wouldn't consider that one a test. I mean, it was a top 10 game, but we know what Michigan's done. They've struggled all year, and they might lose this upcoming weekend. I believe they play Indiana. So they got a real chance at being pretty bad. I don't think they'll finish the season ranked. So Texas hasn't really been tested yet. Georgia has. I look at the series history between these two teams. Texas leads the all-time series 4-1. They won the most recent matchup in New Orleans in the Sugar Bowl 28-21 back in 2019. These are teams, they haven't really played a whole lot. This will be Texas's first test. Two of the top coaches in college football squaring off. Kirby Smart, who's pretty much the unanimous top coach against Steve Sarkisian, who's really picked it up here at Texas, especially the last few years. I think it's going to be a great matchup. But let's go ahead and jump into our biggest three factors for this game. Number one is the slow starts for Georgia. You look against Clemson, they started out slow, only up 6-0 in the first half at halftime. Tennessee Tech, don't really count that one. Kentucky only scored 13 points against Kentucky. On the road at Alabama, they were down, 28-0, 30-0 at halftime, something like that. Then against Auburn, really slow start there in that one. I believe Auburn actually had a lead at some point in the first or second quarter, a decent ways in. And then Mississippi State struggled against them to get going as well, and that one ended up still only beating them by 10. And Mississippi State's probably the worst team in the SEC. It's been slow starts for Georgia. You look for Texas, not really any slow starts other than a little bit against Mississippi State and against Oklahoma last week when Quinn Ewers first returned, but they were still up 21-0 or 21-3 at halftime. Even though Oklahoma was up, you never really felt like they were in control of the game, never really any fear for Texas, but that's something Georgia can't do against this Texas team. They're not going to be able to come out and start slow. You're not going to, be able to be down 30-0 and even have a chance like you did against Alabama. That's just not going to happen. You're not going to be able to start slow against this Texas team. You're going to have to come out ready to play because Sark's going to have his boys ready to go, ready to play, and you're going to have to be ready as well. My second factor is Quinn Ewers' consistent play. I mean, we saw against Oklahoma last week, threw an interception on the second drive of the game that set up the Oklahoma field goal. I was missing guys at the beginning of that game open down the field, and I get it. He was his first game back from injury, got injured very early in that UTSA game, and then had missed 3 weeks because they had a bye week in there. So I get it, first week back in a while, but You're not going to be able to do that against Georgia. You're not going to be able to come out of the game and miss guys open 30 yards down the field that could have potentially been touchdowns and throwing an interception on the second drive of the game. That's how you lose the game right there. So Quinn Ewers is going to have to step it up. He's going to have to play at that elite level that he was played at before injury and that he played at all of last year. That's where he's going to have to be. He's going to have to be at that level for this season and be able to really take command of this offense and play like the elite leader that he is. That's going to be something that's going to be huge for Texas in this game. They're going to need that. Number 3 for me is the Georgia pass game. We know they're down a lot of receivers, getting arrested, kicked off the team, injuries, a lot of reasons. But Georgia's receiving core is somewhat thin. Now they still have Delp, the tight end, who's obviously a threat and a matchup problem. So that is a good thing there that you have that. But you're going to have to be able to throw the football. That's just something that's going to have to be done. You're not going to be able to come out and just run the football on Texas without a good passing game. That's something you're gonna have to do. Is we look at the injury report for Georgia. Tate Ratledge out, or he's questionable. Excuse me. He's questionable. Jordan Hall at D-line, he's probable. Jared Wilson at offensive line, he's probable. Munden out. Robinson out. And both Robinsons at running back are out. For Texas, you have Isaiah Bond, who is questionable. That's really the only new big injury for Texas. Isaiah Bond's questionable. Got injured last week against Texas. Hopefully he's going to be able to play in this game. You want to see these teams at full potential. So hopefully he will be able to play. But, it's something Georgia's going to have to – we saw what happened to Oklahoma last week. They couldn't throw the football. They were strictly having to run the ball, and it didn't fare well for them because Texas has a good secondary. They can play one-on-one with guys and load 7-8 in the box and stop you. So you're going to have to be able to throw the football on this team, just something that's going to have to be done. And do I think Georgia can do it? Do I think Carson Beck and this offense is capable of doing it? Yeah, I do. But also understand your best weapon on offense is Trevor Etienne. You can hit him out of the backfield for sure, but running the football, he's dangerous. So you have to be able to establish a passing game to be a passing threat, especially deep down the field, to be able to open it up for your best playmaker offensively in Etienne, which I think Georgia's capable of doing. Now, will they do it? We'll have to wait and see, but I definitely think that they're capable of doing that. But now let's go ahead and jump into the score prediction. I mentioned Texas is favored by 3.5, over-under set at 56.5. I have the under in this game. I could see it either way, but I have Texas winning this one 34-20. I think it's a 2-touchdown win for Texas. I just don't think Georgia's very good. I just don't see a way that they go into Texas this week and win. I just don't see that happening. I think Texas is the better football team. I think they're going to show that. I think they're going to dominate this game. I'm not a believer in Georgia. I mean, we look back, struggled against Kentucky, struggled against Bama, even though that one ended up being close, struggled a little bit with Auburn, struggled some with Mississippi State. This just isn't a team that's playing very good right now. And I think this Texas team is rolling. I think they move on to 7-0 and get a win over the Bulldogs. So that's going to wrap up today's video. Again, make sure you guys like and subscribe and comment your score predictions down below. We appreciate everybody tuning in.